Hello, we're looking at creating a HUD system in for Unity, but within using Creative Adobe Suite today. I did a previous video to this, as you may have seen, but there was no audio on it. I have checked and double checked. There is definitely audio on this one, so I do apologise for that previous video. Since then, I kind of created my own kind of HUD system. So, what is a HUD? A HUD is it stands for a heads-up display. So, essentially, it's letting me know what's going on with my character. And if you are following along with the 2D platformer series, you'll notice that we've just implemented our HUD system when we're just about to script that up and be all done and dusted. So essentially what we've got here is just a sword to represent kind of my kind of Roman dude. So if we look at my game, you can see this here. And within the canvas, we've got my HUD and my heart units. We can take these away, which will then represent death just like that. So that's why I've got those hearts there. But it's kind of, it can be really simple, it can be really, really complex. Here, all I'm going to do is have a heart system. If you wanted to do a collect system as well for gems or something, you could put a gem under here and stuff like that. And I always try and keep it, my kind of design really is trying to kind of keep it simple, and with that it's a lot easier to understand. So you can kind of follow along with me, or you don't have to, or could go off on your own thing. If you do know kind of Adobe Photoshop, that's fine. It's kind of for people, this tutorial is kind of for people that kind of see stuff. If we go into Google Chrome and they see stuff like this and they kind of like stuff like that, is this possible in Photoshop? Yeah, 100%. Can we start to create and get some bits looking like it? Yeah, and that's what we're hopefully going to do within this video today. Okie dokes. So what we're going to do is, I quite like this actually. We're going to have a look at this. We could do like a heart and create it, or manipulate it and try and use let's try and be cool about it and try and use as much as Photoshop as possible instead of kind of going on to Google. But if we can't, we have to go onto Google, and that's absolutely fine. So my HUD within my game at the moment, as you can see, might be a little bit big, but at the moment I still need to implement this, so I'm just going to size it down later on. But the size of this canvas was, if we go file new, I believe it was, let's change that resolution to 72, and the width was, let's change it to pixels as well, and we'll change this to 700 by 470. And if I press OK, it'll create myself a new document. So yeah, small in perspective, but obviously I can zoom in and add all my bits in there. So hopefully you know a little bit about Adobe Photoshop. If you don't, I would recommend going to look at some other tutorials. We try and kind of keep a good basic knowledge within Photoshop, within these kind of tutorials with myself and Patrick. But there are great beginner tutorials out there of how to use it. So what were we looking at? We were looking at this kind of wood base with kind of an icon. Let's stick with like a heart. So maybe we could have a heart here, and then we can have life panels with this really long block of wood. So let's start off with some simple shapes, and the shapes are down here in the left hand corner. And if you want custom shapes, you can right click, and as you can see, custom shapes tool is there within Photoshop. I'm then going to click onto all of my shapes here, and this will give you all the custom shapes. So I must be able to try and find a heart here somewhere. There we go. That's quite good. So what I'm going to do is click on that, and to keep the size, I'm going to, actually I don't know if I shift, yeah. So if I hold shift on my keyboard and then drag my heart out, I'll always keep the exact same aspect ratio. So I'll keep something like that, that's quite nice. And we can change the color and do all the effects afterwards and stuff like that. Let's just get a basic kind of system down, a basic kind of layout down for this. Yeah, we can leave that there for now. Cool, I might just size that down a bit. That's absolutely fine. Let's just quickly, if we click on the shape, we can quickly probably just change this to a red to represent a heart color, no stroke, that's fine. Cool. I'm then going to go to my rounded rectangle tool and create another panel layer, as we can see here. And so again, I just drew that out with no shift that time, otherwise it would have made a square. And again, I'm just gonna change it to something like that, maybe a darker brown. There we go. Fantastic. And again, these are just placeholder colors, and I'm just going to place that in here. So if you're looking at my kind of guides here, so these kind of pink lines that you're seeing on my screen and how I'm getting those, essentially if you go up to view and make sure you've got snap on, and it will snap to like the locked guides and kind of center everything on. So make sure that is checked on for that, or you can even add a guide. So in my layers, I'm just going to put my heart on top. There we go. And that's already not looking too bad. And so actually I might just change this a little. So within the 2D game we're making, the live system has got 4 different panels. So you representing almost like percentages of 25, 50, 75 and 100%. That's what I could do here. I could add that here. I then can add another panel underneath saying lives or something like that. Might just do that actually. So if I add this, I'm then going to duplicate this layer and call this, let's just, with Command and J, that will duplicate it. As you can see in my layers here, it's duplicated it. So I can drag that underneath, and I'm going to size that down. I'm probably just going to quickly back on the shape, just make life a little easier. Let's just change that color. So it's a darker shade. That looks quite nice. Cool, and I'm just going to put that under there as well. Cool, so that is already looking quite cool. It can be really, really simple. It doesn't have to be difficult or challenging. It can be, yeah, really nice and simple. So this is really looking kind of flat and 2D at the moment. We can add kind of a bevel to this. As we can see here, this has kind of got like a 3D effect and stuff. And you can add this within the 3D in Photoshop, but it might look a little bit dodgy. So for now, we will just add some stylized effects. So the way we can get this is by clicking on our first panel, as you can see here. If we click on transform tool, so you can see the transform controls. And if I don't click on the rounded rectangle 1 and just click off it, I'll get my layer styles up. And what we can do is then add a bevel and emboss. And as you can see, it's already added like a 3D-ness to it. And what I'm going to do is just quickly, let's put that there. One bigger, and we can look at what we're doing here. So if I click onto here, we can go emboss, we can go outer bevel, see what that looks like, inner bevel, that looks quite nice, and we can go with depth, add some more depth. Yeah, as you can see there, we want to probably, cool. We can even soften that if we want there, so that's looking nice, almost like a Kit Kat. Lovely. And as you can see, the lighting and the shading already kind of affects what is happening here. We can even change this highlight mode down here in the shading settings. We just go with chisel hard, make it look a bit more like a piece of wood. ease down on the soften. Cool, that's looking nice. Lovely, cool. So, and then once we've done that, we can easily double click the bottom one as well and add the bevel, that same effect to the bottom one as well, even though that does look a bit weird now. So what we can do is click on this, put that higher up, and there we go. We can have those as two kind of different planks of wood just there. So we can have a look at some other styles as well. So if we go up to window and click on styles, we can have this styles panel, and as you can see, there's lots of different kind of settings or basic settings that we have. We've got like a wood effect, so we can have a look at that actually. Let's have a look at that. Oh, it's looking a bit horrible. Lovely. Oh, that's not too bad. It's like a metal effect. So, and again, these are 100%. We can manipulate these. We can do fur. Apparently, that's fur. And you can also download Photoshop styles as well. So let's manipulate this. Let's see what we can do with this here. So if we double click onto this, we can actually see what's been added. So we've had a stroke, inner shadow, inner glow, inner gradient, blah, 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 all these different things. So I quite liked what we added at the start of our bevel and emboss. So I might add that to it. So if you can't see it here, what we do is go down to our effects, click on that, go to bevel and emboss. And then let's see if we add some depth. And then size just up a little bit. And a bit of softness. Cool, so that's already looking a lot more realistic, almost like this 3D kind of wood effect popping out. And that's looking really, really nice. So with that, what we can do is if I go onto my first wood panel, I can right click onto it and go copy layer style. So if I go copy layer style, click on the one underneath, click clear layer style and click paste layer style, we then have the same layer style added on to underneath panel as well. I might not need that now I've got this kind of color, or I might, there might be some different things we can do, but I'm quite happy with this. So let's have a look what we can do with this heart. I'm going to get rid of this for now. We can maybe manipulate this a little bit more and make it a little bit bigger. Lovely. So let's see what we can do with this heart. Again, I'm going to have a look at the styles and let's see what that does to heart. See, that's really, really nice already. So we can just maybe do a little bit of manipulation on this. That kind of gives it a depth of shadow behind it. That's really, really nice. Cool, I might make that just a bit smaller. There we go, just like that. So as you can see, Photoshop does have a lot of great settings in it already to create quite nice or professional looking HUD systems. So if I wanted to do those 4 segments to represent my where am I going here? There we go. To represent my 4 stages of life, what I could do is I'm going to create another section just like that. It doesn't matter what color it is because we're going to add a layer style, and let's duplicate this 4 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool, I might want them just a little bit closer together so they fit into that bar, but we can always manipulate that. Again, this Snap to Guides is letting me know the distance between all of them, which is just absolutely fantastic. Makes time and what was that? A lot easier. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. What's that one then? Oh, let's get rid of that one. Oops, so we've got a double here, haven't we? Yeah. Let's just move him to there. Lovely, cool. So what I'm going to do is grab these 4. And actually, while I'm here, let's call these units. So this is the first one here. So let's double click that and we can make it look like fits into my game. So unit underscore 1. That's going to be unit underscore 4. That's going to be unit underscore 3 and unit underscore 2. Cool. And what I'm going to do is we can highlight all of those with Command or Control and put these into here. That fits really nicely, actually. I'm really happy with that. So that's looking really, really nice. So what we can do now is let's take these, all 4 of these units, and I'm going to duplicate them. So I'm going to then put these over here, and these are going to be like my gaps. So if my heart then dies, my section then dies out for my heart, for my life, I'm then going to have like a black void or a black hole in here. And we can then create that again from the effects. So let's see what we can do here. Let's have a look in style. So we've got some kind of black effects, and that looks quite nice. Maybe we could do with a little bit of like an in-depth feel. Yeah, it's a bit too chunky, isn't it? Kind of like that, but maybe a little bit more darker. Let's just clear that layer style and see what we can do within here. So let's do a bevel and emboss. Let's do, if we do an outer bevel, we want to make it look like it's empty inside. So we can invert, we might be able to invert the emboss. New, inner, yeah, okay. So how can we make that look like it's empty? Smooth, chisel soft. So again, it's completely trial and error. I don't know what I'm going to create from this, but I might go quite simple with it. Actually, cancel that. Cancel that. If I highlight these again, that was quite. Was it a bottom gradient? That was quite good. Ah, this is intriguing. So it looks like they're empty. That's quite nice. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to black. So I'm going to edit this. So we double click on this. Let's find where they put that color. There we go. Oh, it's got lots of different reds in there. Crikey. Let's go basics. That looks quite good. Maybe I could go with the wood effect. We go with a pattern. So lots of different things we can do here. Trees. It's gonna look green, isn't it? That looks a bit weird. Ooh, actually, taking the stroke off that does make it look a little bit empty there, doesn't it? Let's see if we can shift that shadow. Yeah, that's not doing it. Where's maybe an inner drop shadow? Yeah. Doesn't look as good now. Now we're fiddling with it. I might go simple. I might just do that. And then I'm going to do the same for these four. Oh, flipping heck. So I need to change to that, you need to change to that, and you change to that. Cool, so I've got like these empty slots. This could be improved, but I'm okay with that for now. And then what I'm going to do with these four, select them, I'm then going to, what we can do is merge these shapes together, so they're all four. Then going to, hopefully we can, I'm going to right click, oh, fine. Right click on my heart. I'm going to rasize this layer. This makes the layer now not editable, or kind of flattens the layer, because at the moment I can just turn off this effect. If I rasterize this layer, I can now, this effect is now permanently on there. And I'm going to do that with this as well, with the wooden background. Rasterize that layer. I'm then going to merge down those two. No, not like that. Don't be like that. It's not merged down. It's let's probably rasterize layer styles as well. There we go, and then we can merge those layers. There we go. And I'm going to delete that. Have no background, so we can start to make sure this looks like our UI. I'm then going to rasterize this layer style as well. Merge that down so they're all merged together, so they're now one layer, because that's what they would be in Unity. And then with these four, obviously technically you could only make one and then just duplicate it over within Unity, but we're just doing this just to show the style. Let's go with styles. Let's have a look at that. It's looking nice. So what we're going to do is, with all four of these layers, is drag them up so they fit in there perfectly. It's looking like a really nice UI. So when our character dies or gets hurt, one will go missing, 50% life, 25% life, and then dead. There we go. So that's how we can put together and create a cool looking UI system or HUD system. Even so, what I'm going to do is quickly select all these together, and then we're just going to shape them in the center like that. That's looking good. Cool. So what I would do, I would then export these out as a PNG. Okay. So what I could do is highlight all of these with Shift. I'm not going to take the background because I don't want a background. I'm then going to right click and then go quick export as PNG. And a PNG image essentially won't take the background with it, which creates a whole a lot easier kind of system of implementing sprites into Unity. So if you haven't got a background, you don't have to fight or do remove white image or anything like that. We're just exporting all of these. Make sure they're named as well, so I'd rename that as HUD, and then it will the PNGs will take each of these names as well. So remember, if I'm highlighting all of these, right clicking and exporting as PNG, that will export each of these layers. If I went File, Save As, and then went to on computer, for example, and went to PNG, that would save that whole image as one PNG. I want these to be all separate PNGs. So what I'm going to do is highlight all of these, right click, and go to export as PNG, just like that. And hey presto, you'll have a lovely looking HUD system for your 2D game. Cool. I hope this tutorial was helped. If you do require any more extra help or anything like that, crack a message in the comments, or you know how to contact me. Cool. Thank you very much. See you soon.